Well, hey, my pretties, it's the Queen of Lions here. Today we're going to do another episode of Shadows and Pretties. Today, for episode 116, I'm going to be talking about a movie called Scooby Doo and the Legend of the Vampire. Now, most of you guys may have heard of this movie. It's a 2003 direct to video animated comedy film, and the film series in the fifth of them on the direct to video based films like Scooby Doo. Ew. It was completed sometime in 2002 and released on March 4th, 2003. It was produced by Warner Brothers Animation Studios, but included a copyright of for Hanna-Barbera's Cartoons Inc. So, yeah. Now, the animation style of Scooby Doo and the Legend of the Vampire is an animation style of the TV show What's New Scooby Doo. Now, I have not seen What's New Scooby Doo in like a really long time, and I would have to say it's a pretty good concept for the movie itself. So basically, when I first saw this movie, I actually found it to be, quite amazing and enjoyable. Like, I've watched this one when I was a kid when it was on TV. I actually watched it today. I still haven't watched it in like so long because, it's been quite a long time since I last sat there and took a look at this. So I thought I would go ahead, do a Shadows and Pretties episode on it because it's a really great movie, Fee. Despite the fact that, I've actually have noticed that the Scooby Doo Where Are You actors such as Heather North, Nicole Jaffe, Casey Kasem, Frank Welker, who were in the original What's New Scooby Doo Where Are You cast that was around since 1969 to 1973. They are all back. Although Don Messak, who is the original voice of Scooby Doo, since he died in 1997, they got Frank Welker to do the voice of him as well as the voice of Fred. So I actually really am wondering now that you guys are probably really thinking what your thoughts are on this movie are. Well, I'm gonna basically talk about the movie, kind of explain most likely about, what's going on in the movie and give it the plot. This is the second movie that they met the Hex Girls in, with the first one being Scooby Doo and the Witch's Ghost, which I did a review on that sometime last year. So, yeah, I am gonna sit here and say this right now that it's actually pretty good for what this one is. Okay. Yeah. So this basically is about Scooby and the gang have arrived in Australia for a vacation after seeing various sites throughout Sydney, which is the capital state of North South Wales. So the gang decides to go to the outback where there's a vampire rock music festival where they meet the Hex Girls for the second time. Now, of course, they became close friends with the Hex Girls ever since meeting them in Scooby Doo and the Witch's Ghost, who are doing the opening act of, well, Vampire Rock for the festival. Now, they meet these two managers of the show named Daniel and Russell, and Daniel's father, Malcolm, who is against the festival as Malcolm warns Daniel that what happened drives off, about, some disappearances about a vampire called Yowie the Yowie Yahoo, a vampire who lives in the caves of Vampire Rock. So Fred decides the best way to solve the mystery is to enter the contest band in order to drive the Yowie Yahoo to capture them. But however, while they're practicing, a golf cart approaches them. It was Jasper Ridgway, snotty manager, and his band, the Omens. They criticize the gang's playing and make themselves leave stage so they can practice. The gang eventually learns that once Jasper was once the opener of Wild Wind and the manager of it, so the gang decides to start growing suspicious about Jasper and thinks that he might have put this band up to masquerading as vampires. So, yeah. I mean, the plot of it seemed to be pretty good, and I really do like how the animation style is done for this movie, like What's New Scooby Doo has. Now, I mean, I've seen What's New Scooby Doo, a while ago. It's that like maybe a couple years ago. It's still a pretty good movie for what it is. Now, this one, I'm gonna sit here and say this right now, where Fred, Velma, and Daphne eventually go to Jasper's trailer to find the Mentos of Wildwind, including the band members on the old stage costumes. Why Jasper did not come into his trailer first, they wondered why, so yeah. Now, basically, later on, Scooby and the gang get chased by Wildwind vampires around the concession stands, but they eventually lose them. They end up backstage where the Bad Omens were rehearsing and witness the Yowie Yahoo and the Wildwind vampires capturing the Bad Omens as the same way Matt Marvelous. So Fred decides that everyone should keep sleep and gets at the same place so no one gets taken. So basically, the next day was the festival. The Yowie Yahoo and Wildwind vampires appear and they capture the Hex Girls. So Fred, Velma, and Daphne go inside a cave to find the Wildwind vampires and they get chased, while Scooby and Shaggy get trapped by a group of dingoes with, of course, with Daphne and Velma and Fred scaring off the dingoes. Their whole gang gets trapped by vampires and the Yowie Yahoo. So the sun reflects off from Scooby's collar, which shines on the Yowie Yahoo to destroy him. I mean, like, the satisfying death of the Yowie Yahoo was pretty satisfying. Like, because we know that vampires hate the sun. That's actually a really good, satisfying way to end the Yowie Yahoo. Although it's kid-friendly, obviously. But it also destroys him. However, the Wildwind vampires are not affected by the sun or running over water. So they chase the gang until, well, Daniel releases a trap and captures them. The gang reveals to be that it was two skinny dudes and the hippie band they met the prior and Russell. So Daniel and Jasper were surprised, but they get more surprised when it shows that they were planning to perform again. However, they realized that they were allowed to perform again, so they took the advantage of the rumors that sounding that might have happened to them. Of course, they find the Hex Girls, who end up being found by Malcolm while wandering in the outback. So the members of the Wildwind are arrested and sent to jail. When Daniel realizes that all the bands are out of the competition, that makes Scooby and the gang the winners by the default. So the film ends with the gangs performing and cheering the crowd with the Hex Girls joining in. And I actually really found this one to be a good ending. And that's basically the ending of, well, Scooby Doo and the Legend of the Vampire. I really liked it. It's a pretty good movie. Now, I did remember watching it as a kid, but I really do find this one to be, quite enjoyable for what this one really is. Now, in my honest opinion, when I first saw this as a kid, I really do find this one to be, a pretty good concept for the whole movie itself. Like, I know some people may have liked the movie and some people have not liked the movie, but a lot of people really like it because it has, Scooby and the gang solving a mystery like they always do. The one thing I really am glad that they have is that they included the Hex Girls in this movie because, ever since Witch's Ghost, I was hoping that they would be included into another Scooby-Doo movie. Now, I really do hope that they make another Scooby-Doo movie with the Hex Girls in it because the Hex Girls are rarely shown in the Scooby-Doo movies. Like, I believe a few episodes of certain Scooby-Doo shows, they were appeared in it. Like, they made their appearance. But, with all due sincerity, though, we haven't really seen the Hex Girls that much. Now, in my honest opinion, I really do hope that they include the Hex Girls more often in more of these Scooby-Doo movies, as I really do think that the Hex Girls need to be included in more of these mysteries more often. I think that if they do that, that would make, Scooby-Doo more famous, in my opinion. Maybe if the Hex Girls even have their own show, I would really like to see that as well. But with all due sincerity, I found this movie to be quite an entertainment for many reasons. Now, before any of you guys, say your thoughts, I'm gonna be going on to my final score. Now, my final score of this movie would have to be a 9 out of 10. It was a great movie. It had a great concept for what it is. I really liked that the animation was like, from What's New Scooby-Doo. Like, they adapted that information. Well, the animation, sorry. And the info about, the Scooby Doo, What's New Scooby Doo show. Now, I wasn't really a fan of What's New Scooby Doo at the time, but now I really somewhat like some of the episodes of it. I really found this one to be, a great, enjoyable movie. It's very enjoyable, and I recommend you guys check it out if you haven't. Now, with that being the case and that said, it's just my own opinion. Like, if you don't like the movie, that's understandable. If you like the movie, that is understandable too, as it's a pretty good one. A fun fact that I did realize that this movie was going to be released in 2002, but since the Scooby-Doo live action movie, the first one, the one where they go to Spooky Island was coming up first, they actually have Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost having the Hex Girls in it, and then in this one, they include the Hex Girls again. Now, I do really think that this is actually a really good animation, and I really liked it, the fact that they included all the original voice actors, well, with the exception of Scooby's original voice actor from Scooby-Doo Where Are You series. Unfortunately, the only actor that didn't come back was the original voice actor for Scooby-Doo from Scooby-Doo Where Are You? But all the other cast members did come back. I think besides Fred's actor as well, which Frank Welker has taken over the voice of Fred as well as the voice of Scooby. But other than that, the movie seemed to be pretty good. It has a good plot. I really do like this movie a whole lot. So, if you happen to not like this movie, that's understandable. It's your opinion. If you happen to like this movie, that's perfectly fine too, because everyone has their own opinion when it comes to this movie. Now, I guess with that being said, what did you guys think about the movie? Did you enjoy it? Did you not? Also, what we have done personally to help make the movie a lot better? Feel free to leave me know what your thoughts are down in the comments below. I'm the Queen of Lions. Thank you so much for watching today's episode, and if you're new to my channel, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe because I make brand new videos every single day. Don't forget to ring the notification bell to when I upload, so that way you guys will not miss an upload. And as always, I'll be seeing you all in the next episode. Thank you so much for, tuning in to an episode of Shaz and Pretties. And as always, I'll catch you all later.